Bruchim Habaim. Welcome back to the counting of our Sifriat HaOmer, our Omer numbers. Today's number is 24. 24. It is the 24th day of the counting of the Omer. In Hebrew, Beivrit, we say Esrim V'Arba. Esrim V'Arba. The 24th day. We are almost halfway through. And that is very exciting. So let's get right to the counting of the Omer. Are you ready? Let's see if I can move this so that you can see the numbers, the misparim, really well. All right. And I know that you know how to count because we have been doing it for 24 days. That's a lot of days, Yamim, to be counting together Be'ivrit in Hebrew. So, Uri is not much help. Morah Debrah needs your help. And today, I was on Zoom a couple times with a couple of the classes. One was for lunch, which was an awesome idea. And the other was just where we chatted with each other to find out what they've been doing at home. And it was so much fun seeing you. And now I'm in such a great mood. And it's all because of you. So I need you to help me count. Got to keep that great mood, right? The happy mood. Sameach is happy. Are you ready? Let me hear. Don't yell too loud. We don't want to scare your parents. You ready? Echat, shtayim, shalosh, arba, hamesh, shesh, shava, shemona, tesha, eser. Echat esrei, shtayim esrei, shalosh esrei, arba esrei, hamesh esrei, Shesh esrei, Sheva esrei, Shemona esrei, Tesha esrei. Tesha esrei. Remember what comes next? Esrim. Show me your strength because you made it all the way to 20. Esrim. All right, let's go on. Esrim va achad. Esrim vashtayim. Esrim v'shalosh. That was yesterday's mispar. Now we're going to add one more number to 23, and we get Esrim v'arba. 20 and 4. And in the synagogues, I know you know now what they say, right? How many Shavuot do we have? Echat, shtayim, shalosh, 3. And how many Yamim, how many days? Echat, shtayim, shalosh. Isn't that kind of cool? We have 3 weeks and 3 days of the counting of the Omer. That is kind of cool, 3 and 3 like that. So, I have to ask you where are my misparim? There they are. Do you remember, is 24 or esrim v'arba an even number or an odd number? You're right, it's an even number because it's 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Those are all even numbers. So let's count by twos. We'll start with the 2, right? We would start with 0, but we're going to start with 2 because we don't have 0 here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. It is an even number. We remember our pattern. How many did we have in the first row? How many did we have in our second row? How many do we have in our third row? 3. What comes in this row? If it's 3, 4, 3, our pattern is 4. Very good. That is awesome. It's nice to look at things and see patterns. There are patterns everywhere. In nature, there are patterns too, and sometimes there are no patterns. It's okay, but it's great to look for them. If we look here at Uri, he has a pattern, right? We have Zahov, Zahav, Zahov, zahav, zahov, zahav, zahov. Both of his feet and his hands have yarok, and the top of his rosh, yarok. But this is a nice pattern to follow, right? All right. Oh, and we've done, let's see, we've done the evens, we've done the ones. Now, what's next? Hamesh, fives. We have 5, 10, 15, 20. Tomorrow, we will be able to add 25 by counting by fives. So we have Hamesh, Esreim. No, wait a minute. Hamesh, Shesh, Shava, Shemona, Tesha, Eser. That's what it is. There's so many of them. Hamesh, Eser, Hamesh, Esrei, Esrim. Now we've got it. And tomorrow we will get to add Esrim Vahamesh, which is really awesome. You guys are doing so well on your Misparim Ba'ivrit in Hebrew. I am so impressed. There's one more that we can do because 7 days equals 1 week. So if we go down this column, we can count by sevens. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 sevens are 14, and when you have 3 sevens, it's 21. And at the end of this week of the Omer, we will be able to add another 7 to there. So we're just doing 7, 14, 21 for right now, which is pretty cool that you can do all of that. That is nice. So 12 days ago, we were talking way back here in the Segol, the week of Segol, we were talking about 12. And I showed you that 12 is a dozen. A dozen eggs, a dozen cookies, a dozen donuts, right? When sometimes you bring donuts to a different place and you bring a big box and there are 12 donuts in each box so they don't crush the other ones. And I showed you how I had Zahov, these little items that fit together. And you're supposed to get in this game 4 in a row. So these are Zahov. I have another dozen, which I showed you last time, that were Kahol. So if you put these together, I have 24. I have 2 dozen. 2 dozen. But I have something I can put them in that is better. That was kind of cumbersome, right? I got this. This had 24 eggs in them. And I can do a pattern. I can do every other one Kahol. So how many do I have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. Look what happened to my Kahol group. I have some empty spots. So in order to make a pattern, I have to use my Zahov spheres and put them in. Look, I have a pattern. Let's talk about the pattern that I have made. We have Zahov, Kahol, Zahov, Kahol, Zahov, Kahol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 plus 6 more equal 12, or another word for 12 is, yes, dozen. Very good. We ended up with a dozen of these, and there's a big wall here, so I could change my pattern, and I could start with Kahol and then put Zahov, and that would mean another Kahol and another Zahov and another Kahol and another Zahov. And that, do you remember we talked about 18 being Chai in Hebrew? We have 18. 6 and 6 are 12. Plus 6 more equal 18. And look at that. We have, instead of zahov, we have kahol. Kahol, zahov. Zahov, kahol. Back and forth. But you can do a pattern this way too, right? Because we could have 2 zahov and 2 kahol. 2 zahov, 2 kahol and 2 zahov. And now we can put kahol, zahov, kahol, zahov. Here are 2 dozen, and here are 2 dozen. And look at the patterns we have. Zahov, kahol, zahov, kahol, zahov, kahol, kahol, zahov. Opposite. It is the opposite. And if you just do it like this, it is kahol, zahov, kahol, zahov, kahol, zahov. Now, if we go this way, it's still the same. But we started with kahol, so we would do that again. But look at all the different things you can do with an egg carton and some little marbles or something you have at home. You can play a game. You can set up patterns. There's also a Michaela game with marbles where you move them and you just move them up and down and back and forth. There's so many things you can do with egg cartons. One thing is you can cut the egg carton apart, which I don't like to do, but you can do it, right? So I wanted to show you also, here is what 12 looks like. 12, it's a 1 and a 2, right? 12, and 2 12s equals are 24. 1 12 can be also a dozen of something. And when you put them together, you have 2 dozen. I also wanted to show you what 2 dozen might look like in a different setting. Each of those stacks equals 12. See that? There are 12 DVDs in each pile. But if I put them together, one on top of the other, it's going to make a much larger pile. So let's see what that might look like. I am going to add, well, first I want to show you one of the videos has Hebrew on it. Isn't that cool? And then I'm going to add more. See how it's higher? Before they were even, both is high. Now, look how high that is getting. Wow. Isn't that high? Prince of Egypt is in here too. Look at that. I have to bring it back quite a ways in order for you to see how tall that is. Is it as tall as my Omer calendar? Not quite. But 24 looks different there than it does in our egg carton, right? 24 blue and yellow, kahol v'zahov. And we know that 24 is an even number. So what is our mitzvah for this week? It is to show kavod to Ima v'Abba. And I am dressing up very fancy for the week of Mother's Day, right? Of showing kavod. And I don't know, but I hope maybe you've come up with some great ideas. You could help Ima v'Abba plant flowers outside, and that memory will be so nice every time Ima and Abba see those beautiful flowers that you all planted together outside on that special year when we had to stay inside a long, long time. They'll remember the brightness that you brought into their family. But remember, we want to show kavod every day of every year. So maybe you have a special outfit you'll wear on Mother's Day. Maybe you'll add some special jewelry, right? This is called a charm bracelet. I don't think there's 24 charms on there, but each charm has some special memory. And sometimes moms wear necklaces that have pictures of you guys, but a long time ago, they used to have a bracelet because there's way more than one necklace could hold. Like I have one here for my bat mitzvah and for when we got married. And I have one that my husband gave me. Well, I have several. But these are really nice. It keeps our memories on our hands, keeps us close, keeps them close. So I think, I'm going to look at my list, but I think that we've done almost everything except for one thing. My daughter suggested that I mention something else that's 24. So Jacob in the Bible, in our Bible stories, had a couple of wives. Back then that was okay to do, Leah and Rachel. And they had, between them, they had 12 sons. They also had a daughter. But we're just talking about the number 12 and how to make 12 into 24. Well, each one of those sons married somebody, and then it became 24. Can you imagine how big all their picnics were, or their family reunions when they got together, and how many cousins they added? Maybe there were a whole nother 24 cousins. I bet there were way more than 24. But they had lots of fun together, and that's nice. That's nice that they were doubling themselves, so to speak, because 12 plus 12 more is doubled. It's twice as many, just like I showed you in my video, in my DVDs. We had 2 stacks, put 1 stack on top, and it became twice as much. So, there's something else we could do. We could move our bodies in 12 movements and then add another 12 to see how that feels. So I wonder, what could we do with our goof? Because it's an even number, we can move one way and the other way, and it'll be equal on both sides. Because odd, one of them doesn't get to do as many. So let's see, what can we do that would be 24? We could sway back and forth, right? Be good for the thigh muscles, up on your toes and down. We could make our zeroot, go lamala valamata. We could use both, right? While we're moving. So let's start counting with movement of our goof. You take your goof and you move any way you want, but be sure to count with me. You ready? We're going to start with echat. You ready? Echat, shtayim, shalosh, arba, hamesh, shesh, sheva, shemona, tesha, eser, two more. Echat esrei, shtayim esrei, that's halfway. Shtayim esrei, shalosh esrei, arba esrei, hamesh esrei, shesh esrei, sheva esrei, shemona esrei, tesha esrei. Now what's next? Show me your strength. Esrim. Esrim va'echad. Esrim v'shtayim. Esrim v'shalosh. Our even number we end up on. Esrim va'arba. And we have done 24 movements. This side did 12 and this side did 12. And we did some moving. And if you want, you can take this outside and do it again. And count. And do it any way you want. Maybe while you're riding your bike outside, you can count how many times your feet are pushing and to make it go around and around, right? You can swing on your swing and count how many times you're going back and forth. You can run up and down the backyard and count 1, echat, shtayim, shalosh, and see how far you can count. Until then, Morah Debrah and Uri will say Shavua Tov. We'll also say Yom Sababa, have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the 25th day of the counting of the Omer. So long.